Hi there YouTube, Mr. Aviator here. It's 11 PM at night and I've just finished work at my work at home shift. Yes, my work is still working at home. It's been a long and difficult lockdown here in Melbourne. That said, we're out of lockdown, so I can literally travel almost anywhere in the state. Actually, literally anywhere in the state, and well, I can travel to New South Wales. Probably not so much to Queensland or South Australia, Western Australia, but we get by. Today we'll be walking to start a train and then driving it down to Elephant Castle and back to Queen's, where we start off, which is Queen's Park. We picked this one up from the Bakerloo line. You can see the link to this, Train Sim Times. And the cool thing about this little timetable collection is you can figure out where all the trains leave, where they start, the weird trains that start off in sidings and stuff. So today will be this train here, the 6:30 AM train, Queen's Park siding number 26 to Elephant Castle. At Queen's Park we head down to Kilburn Park, Maida Vale, Warwick Avenue, all the way through the tunnels down to Elephant Castle platform 3. And then the train turns around, and normally we're the same set of carriages would head back to Harrow and Wealdstone, but we're actually going to be getting off this train and picking up a different one on the other platform, on Elephant Castle platform 4, and then heading that back to Queen's Park into siding number 22, where we'll end the morning. Welcome to Queen's Park. That's the signal box, so you can imagine we've walked on down here. There's our train in its little siding shed. If you look into the description, you'll find that I have a whole bunch of add-ons that I've added to these trains. So that is going to give us extra, paint jobs, detailing. Also sounds, which is probably the most important part, or the most noticeable part that you'll be watching today. I'm going down to the other end of my train to jump into the last carriage. We're going to set it up because we're actually travelling this train in the direction we are currently facing with passengers on board, even though we have to start off by putting it back in the opposite direction down to Queen's Park's platforms. So I'm just going to partly set up the cab to drive in this direction, and then we'll head down the other end and get over there. Our left door open. Hi there from Troposphere Simulation. Good to see you there from France. First thing I'm going to do is turn on the lights so we can see. Other thing I'm going to do is pop on the gauge light, because we're going to be using that in a bit. We're going to flick on the stabling tail light because we are going to be backing away. Other thing I want to do is chuck in the Elephant Castle there, so I don't have to do it later. We'll pop that thing in there because we've got two of them, and we'll head down to the other garage. Jump on out, close the door. And we head all the way back to the other end of the train. Nice little shed here. I believe they do stable 2 trains here overnight, so obviously the little ones left before 6:30 AM. You could probably go through that website that I showed you at the beginning to find when whichever line that is. I think that's stable yard number 20, siding 24, that one. Other Infinite Flight, we are on the 1972 stock of the London Underground with extra added sounds. So I've got a sound mod today. Going to go on to the left side only. Yep, cool. Let's close that up. Want to turn this train on, so I chuck a key in there, turn that in. That's good to go. All the lights are on. Going to take over the train. And we're just going to do a couple of tests on the train. So the first thing we do is go into the direction auto. Off and release. We cut the audio warning, which is this button there, or the letter Q. Wait for this to come up to full. Going to go into Enter. Then over here we need to turn on the brakes test. That shows yellow, ready to go. Brakes go all the way to emergency. Once they hit the 0, we should have red lights. Going to go all the way up to release. And we should get green lights in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, we got it in 2 seconds. Cool. So the brakes are checked and they're working fine. Another test I want to do is we're going to take out the reverse lockout, stick that into cutout, jump in, come over here, and we have this little button, which is the traction test. Going to hit that into the power test. Come into here, drop into reverse, and we're just going to add a little bit of power, see what happens. How many people can fit in a full tube train? That depends if you're sitting down or standing up as well. Lots, a few thousand people. Just gonna run that test as well. That's good. We'll sit on Rio minimum braking. We're going into the forward position, putting that into cut in, closed and locked. See if there's anything else that I need over here. Don't think there is. If you really wanted to, you could open that window, but to do that you need this drop light interlock to be cut out. Otherwise you can't move the train. Mostly it's because running around with your window open through tunnels is not the best idea in the world. So I'll cut that in. The other thing I'll need to do now that we've done that is reset the power on and off, because that always gets me. And with that done, off and release. Let that build up and we should be in Enter. We now just wait for 10 minutes. So the scenario starts at 6:30 AM. It's currently about 6:22-ish. So London Underground 1972 stock has 268 passenger seats and of course lots more standing room. And we have forgotten to put the lights on again. There we go. So yeah, it's only 274 of these seats, apparently. It's much less than I expected. Is that per carriage? Is that per train? Certainly it's not per train. There we go. Capacity per train is 851. Nearly 1,000 people. Hi there, Internet Flight. If you like Qantas stuff, then sure, join them if you want to. I'm not really into that kind of joining of virtual airlines, but that's just me. Some people love the community of VAs and stuff. I'm a bit meh. I fly to be on VATSIM events. And I'd rather just fly the events, and I don't care where the events happen. So I don't want to be stuck in the VA saying, please fly between Sydney and wherever. It's like, but there's an event in Denmark, so I'm going to fly in Denmark, thanks. more important is the event coming up. Is it next Sunday or the Sunday after that? I think it is the Sunday after that. Cross the ditch. Yes, December. So December the 5th, all-day event. It's like 12, 13 hours worth of flying between Australia and New Zealand. Should be fun. Still having issues with this control test. Is the control test off? No, it's not. That's why I'm having issues with the control test, because it's still on. Okay, well, we'll reset that again. No idea what I'll be flying for across the ditch. Could be anything. I'll make a decision at some point before the week. Still don't know. What I haven't flown recently might come into it. So in reverse. Yeah, that's working. Run forward, cut in. And we're good to go. Cool. That beepers every time I take the hand off the, whatever they call that thing, throttle, traction brake control, TBC. Now a couple of features of the mods include the ability to open this front door. Get a bit of noise, you can fall out the front door if you want to. Not that I suggest it, because you can't get back in that door. And if you end up in the tunnel, falling out the front, the tunnels are too small to be able to walk past your own train. So you can't get in the front. You can fall out the front, but you can't get back in. And you can't walk back to the doors. So if that happens, scenario's done. Walk to the nearest station, and that's it. You've now got a train permanently stuck in the tunnel if you do that. So suggest don't do that. Briefing for what's going to happen in the next 3 minutes. About 3 minutes from now, we'll be travelling forwards up to the station, which is up here. A second train will be coming out of the tunnels. It'll stop next to us on the opposite platform. We stop the train, we open the doors, we shut the train down from this end. We need to carry that key with us, that one there. So we shut the train down, that turns the lights off in the carriage. We take the key with us, and then we walk to the other end of the train. We put the key in the other end of the train, we turn the train back on, turn the lights back on, jump in our seats, and head on down into the tunnels. We'll only have about 1.5 to 2 minutes to do the entire walk along the length of the train. Yeah, I've got GA Around Australia's in the GA Around Australia navigation channel. It's just where I'm putting all this random workings, because it gets lost in the general chat otherwise. So if we keep it specific to that project, and I guess it's a good idea instead of just spamming the chat with random flight plans. Check in Sky Vector, the actual charts we're using, and once we decide on the day that we're going, I upload the weather stuff there as well. We've got about 1 minute and we should get a green. This signal will show which platform we're being sent to, and it will then, that red cross bar will rotate to a forward go. Still red, but you know, rotated forward. 30 seconds to go. We should have a train also coming up out of the tunnels from Kilburn Park. And then we race down into Elephant and Castle. And in about an hour from now, we should be back here, essentially, jumping out of a different train. There we go. We're allowed to go. Give me power. No. It's not giving me anything. Come on, let me go. Come on, train. It's going to do that again. Another reset. There we go. Okay, we're allowed 15. They're leaving. Need to stop before that red bar there. Right there. Okay, into enter and shut down. Train is off. We can turn the lights off here. Cool. Torch. Everybody jumped in already. Cool. I haven't had a scam call for ages, but then I don't have a landline telephone either, so that helps. Okay, up into the dark train. Let's open her up. Pop the key in. Grab the lights. Check the lights. There, good. Let's jump in. We're in forward, and
Kyle Rittenhouse had his first.
This is Kilburn Park. This is a Bakerloo
it's
line
not Bay.
train to Elephant.
No, it's not. This is a train.
Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
Off we go. Got a 15 zone. And then as we run down into the tunnel, we can get a 35 zone. It's a bit foggy out there today, or this morning, or whatever it is. 35 zone. I'm not sure when my work will be going back to the office, but when that does happen, I'll be able to travel on trains again. Haven't been on a train since May 2021. All these lockdowns and stuff. We're rolling downhill at the moment, so you just need to keep the brakes held. Then we want to slow down nice and quick. I'm going to service application and come off it again.
Please stand clear of the doors. This is Kilburn Park. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle. Please stand clear of the doors.
Okay, that's been negotiated and out we go. Nah, I won't be... there's no really good PC12s. There's a couple that are okay. But, you know, none that have stood out at me. We've got a 30 coming up. We're at 35.
The next station is Maiderdale. This is a Bakerloo line train.
Okay, when you stop the train, you really want to just have a good view of the screens there. That's how you see the train itself and the doors.
Please stand clear of the doors.
So far we're pretty much on time. Next one's Warwick. And we're 30 zone. First 35. 30 now, 35 after the board. Sometimes it does help to just verbalize what the next landmark is. So the 30 was for that turn, now we're in 35 again. Next is a 25 after the station.
This is Warwick Avenue. Exit here for Little Venice. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
Not very long at each stop. We're about to finish.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Brakes released. And we go. Next is the 25 at the time. Currently 35. Okay, Paddington. I'd like to get into some more travel, but you know, I was actually planning on going away this weekend. However, the event that I was going to has apparently been cancelled or something like that. Hi, the Ram Air 64. Yeah, I love a bit of subway travel. Reminds me of last year when, or 2019, when we were allowed to travel, and I used to go to work every morning in Melbourne's metro. Not much of Melbourne's metro is underground, but some of it is. Okay, at the 25, there's the crosses. The entire line's got about, I think it's, let's see, 25 or so stations, but we're only using half the track.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here.
So the track extends further past Queen's Park, about maybe 10 stations.
This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle. Please stand clear of the doors.
They're released, we're going. Yeah, so there's a bit of track further behind us from Queen's Park, about 10 to 15 stations. But in front of us, I think we have something like 25 stations. Might be slightly less than that, 23. On the Bakerloo line. Oh, I should be at 25. Slowing it up. .30 coming up. And there's the 30.
Road. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
Pity it doesn't actually show our train there. If I was making this game myself, I would have put a train in the station, if we could only do it that way.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Brakes released. Yes, I used to take trams, not as often as trains, but often enough. Maybe once a month or so. Usually if I was going somewhere not home after work in the city. I used to do that every once in a while.
The next station is Marylebone. Change here for National Rail Services.
Yeah, making good time. We're sitting right on the on-time markers at the moment, so looking pretty good. It's possible to do, you just have to kind of drive the heck out of the train. Come in with pretty heavy braking and hit those speeds. There we are.
This is Marylebone. Change here for National Rail Services. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
Have we got a green stay? Yep, we do. close it.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Recharging the brake. Off we go. Cool, getting the old Thrustmaster throttle quadrant. It's always good to have a nice throttle quadrant.
The next station is
I of course have a honeycomb, which gives you like 6 axes, but you know, 320 is a good looking unit.
exit here for Madame Tussauds.
Are we 25 or a 30? Don't know, we're at a station. Getting up on reds now.
This is Baker Street. Change here for the Circle, Hammersmith and City, Jubilee and Metropolitan lines. Exit here for Madame Tussauds.
Well, that's a 25, so now we know what the speed limit is.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Going to roll forward, make sure that we actually have a green aspect. There it is. Up to 25. Yeah, those 320 quadrants look pretty nice actually. If I didn't already have all my honeycomb stuff, I'd definitely be thinking about it. In fact, I probably still am, but that's just quietly. Yeah, the A330 will be perfectly compatible with it. It's basically 2 axes, so 320s and 330s are essentially the same throttle setup.
The next station is Regent's Park. Exit here for local buses to ZSL, London Zoo.
Into Regent's Park.
This is Regent's Park. Exit here for local buses to ZSL, London Zoo. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
Just about to leave.
Please stand clear of the doors.
And I've forgotten what our speed is. Let's cheat it. 30. There's 30 there. Great scenery down here, nice and black, brick walls.
Change here for Central and Victoria lines.
And we need to be at 20 for this next section. Quite a hefty turn there. You can hear the wheel flanges, that's that squeaky noise rattling through. Basically the wheels are metal and they don't really bend, so as the tracks bend, the wheels kind of make squeaky noises on them. Something with the axles as well, no differential.
This is Oxford Circus. Change here to Central and Victoria Line. This is a Bakerloo line train to
That's
Elephant
still
and
pretty much
Castle.
on time. Couple of seconds late now.
Please stand
Shouldn't be a
clear
problem.
of the doors.
The inner bits of the tunnel almost touch the train. We're like maybe a couple of centimeters of clearance there, an inch. We need about 20. And there's a 30 sign.
The next station is Piccadilly Circus. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here to the Piccadilly line.
Pulling to a stop here. VRAM is just random access memory on your video card. And last I checked, aeroplanes are, you know, they're a graphic. There's lots of visual components on an aircraft. There we go, just a little bit too far, but we got there.
Piccadilly Circus. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here.
Some trains do have an auto throttle,
This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle.
the German ones particularly.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Hi there, Nat Dave and Transport Gamer. Transport Gamer is saying that he loves this line every day, or uses this line every day. Is that real world use, I'm assuming? I used to use the Craigieburn line in Melbourne every day before this pandemic shut us out of our offices for going on 2 years now. Is the line as noisy as this?
Here for Trafalgar Square, National Gallery, and National Portrait Gallery.
There's a 20 zone. Transport Gamer works in Queen's Park. That sounds pretty cool. So are you coming from the tunnel side or the open side? Much louder. Nice. Indeed. Yeah, some of those German trains literally have an autopilot almost. They don't have an auto brake system, but they can throttle for you. There we go.
This is Charing Cross. Change here for the Northern Line and National Rail Services. Exit here for Trafalgar Square, National Gallery, and National Portrait Gallery. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle. Please stand clear of the doors.
You're from Charing Cross. Nice. Charing Cross is a good looking station from the inside. I like it.
Station is Enhancement.
in a 30 zone. I'll have to learn how to drive the German train on this game. It's quite complicated. It's like unnecessarily complicated for a train. That said, they do like 200 kilometers an hour, so you know. I get it.
Embankment. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for the circle, district, and northern
Speaking
line,
of trains, the
which is the
Japanese have
Bakerloo
pretty
line
complicated
train to
trains.
Elephant and Castle.
We're clear to go.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Yeah, those bends in the rail are something. Man, with that massive turn and the flange noise going through, that must be one heck of a noisy station at Waterloo. Actually, I can hear the other train on the other platform. Just left. There we go.
This is Waterloo. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for the Jubilee, Northern and Waterloo and City lines and National Rail services. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle. Please stand clear of the doors.
Cleared green while we're stopped there. Some of these aspects don't clear until it's your time to go, regardless of if there's a train ahead of you or not. I think that's one of those. .25. Okay, we're on the speed. We do seem to be going downhill slightly, so. The Imperial War Museum. I wonder if that'd be interesting to visit. I guess that's mostly Victorian rather than earlier. Now, once you hit the 19th century, it's getting a little bit closer to modernity. Not the greatest fan of Victorian era.
This is Lambeth North. Exit here for the Imperial War Museum. This is a Bakerloo line train to Elephant and Castle. Please stand clear of the doors.
Green signal. And the next is our final stop. Now we're moving over to the opposite side of the tunnels here. So at some point we'll have a 15-mile-an-hour zone. Currently it's 30. Now it's 25. 10 actually. There you go. If you're continuing straight ahead onto platform number 4, we'd be doing 20 on the way in. That's going to be a 10. I can see the board. The board will say 20, but since we're crossing, it has to be a 10.
The next station is Elephant and Castle, where this train terminates. Change here for the Northern Line and National Rail services.
There's our train in the opposite side. We'll be swapping trains here today. Short duty. A different driver will take this train from the opposite end, take it out of the tunnel in the same direction that we just came. All the way up into the dark.
This is Elephant and Castle, where this train terminates. Change here for the Northern Line and National Rail services. All change, please.
Alrighty, we'll shut down the train. Let's jump out first. We're going to move that to that one, Harrow Millstone. Take the gauge lights out. The cabin lights, I'll leave them on for the moment. The train that will be taken back has just arrived. Open the doors up, see if everyone's out of here. No, some people are going to stay there. That's fine. You get the message. If you return. Train into shutdown. Take the key out.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Stand clear of the doors.
And that's that train done. Now we switch over to this one. We're nearly at this end anyway. Got to jump on board and set up the back. Make sure this is ready to go. So we're going to Queen's Park. We want the trailing light on. And don't need anything else here. So this isn't due to leave for another 14 minutes. So we can probably have a bit of a rest. Don't need to run down there straight away. Yeah, we've already fixed that one. Cool.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Okay, first things first, we're going to Queen's Park. We don't need the stable light. Yeah, that's the one. Have both on. We'll take the train. Key is on. We're in enter. Off and released. Waiting for the pressure to build up. Once that does stabilize, we're going to come over here, run that test. That is yellow. Emergency gives us red, and off release should eventually give us green lights. Done. Okay, the test has been operated. Oh, the Anish, how you doing? $10 till we move out. Before that happens, the train that we've just bought in to Elephant Castle will leave, and then another one will cross our path coming into that platform, and then we'll go. That all happens in about 5-10 minutes from now. In the meantime, we need to grab our new audio route. Now, if this was an awesome game, we would go into here and start clicking these buttons to program the lady. Instead, we're using the Foobar 2000 to play these.
Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wheelstone.
Close enough. Yes, a flying simulator train. Let's have a look around. This cab has been fitted with run-back protection. It is operational. Emergency alarms. There's the central London tube map.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Leave it open for now. And we have a bunch of ads that came from our... Oh, that's hilarious. Brexit ad. So this is part of an add-on that replaced all the default ads with relatively newer ones. Hello, Site Inspector. Isn't it like 2 AM over in NZ? What you doing awake? Anyway, welcome to the stream. I'm doing awake because I work from home until 11 PM today. That's very random. Oh, that's an hilarious one. Disruption on the line after careful. So it's talking about rail upgrade works, and there's going to be a bunch of disruptions. Rail replacement bus services. Also, don't worry about that because it's not happening. Lol. 9 minutes out. Whatever. We're not waiting that long. Come on. Where did you send it? I can't even see it. One of those help points where you can hit for the information. It'll give you the next train on platform number 4 goes to where it's going. Queen's Park. Departing in 8 minutes. Hey, wide awake. I'm wide awake because I was working. Kinda sucks. Is that Doctor Who? Looks a little bit like Matt Smith. That's excessively random, but there you go. Lego Star Wars. And Ish wants us to open the doors. Let all those random people in. Let's do that. Well, since we're going to be opening the doors to the public, let's close that door. Yep, they're all good. And now we just wait for 5 minutes. Good old Richard DeKitney. Yep, MCDU is all programmed and ready to go. Look at that little thing there. That's almost an MCDU. Maybe that one. I think that's just the radio, and this one is the thing that plays audio. No, the next station is Lambert North. I'll show you guys this. This is a mod. You can't open the front door without the mod, but with the mod you can. Things get a little bit louder in the cabin, and you can fall out of the train forwards, but you can't get back in that door. Nothing you can do can get you back in that door. So if you fell out, say, in this tunnel, you'll notice that the train is, well, they've got about 1 inch between the edge of the tunnel and the train. So if you happen to be in the tunnel when you fell out the front, that's the end of the session. You can't get back in. The only way in is up on the platform, but you can't walk through the tunnel into your train ever again. So don't do that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice one page. Yeah, sure, why not? Read it out loud to yourself. See if you want to move some bits of sentence around. But yeah, I get the idea of what you're talking about. When you're putting numbers right next to each other, it does sound a little bit clunky. Just putting it that. So at age 17, 1975. rethink about that one. I'll probably chuck at age 17 up the front of that sentence. So that's your second sentence in. A few little grammar things in there. If you want me to point them out, I'll pop that in once we're done with the stream in about half an hour, 45 minutes or so, like a teacher would. Here's a train coming, going into that platform number 3 next to us. Once he clears out, we'll be just about ready to go. Couple of sparks and flashes as it runs over the point there. Naplan, what's that? Australian thing. Naplan wasn't a thing when I went to school, but that was a very extremely long time ago. So I'll try and avoid talking about how long ago that was. Let's just put it this way, it was the 1990s. Some point in the 1990s, I left school. Show my age there. Year 7 and 9. Gosh, in year 7, when I was at school in whatever, 1990 something it was, we didn't really have tests. We were just, you know, hanging around. We have to reset the doors for this scenario to work properly, so I've done that. Doors are open.
This train is ready to leave. Please mind the doors.
And we are closing. Green light. There it is. And the train's done that stupid reset thing again. It's really done it. Come on, give me some power. Let's drop that, maybe.
The next station is Lambeth North.
Yeah, there we go.
Here for the Imperial War Museum.
Alright, so we're a little late now, but we needed to cut out the interlock because apparently the window is open, even though it's not. But we'll try to catch up. We're in a 25 zone. Pushing up to the 30 zone. Konnichiwa. Sorry. I actually did Japanese in high school and I didn't pass. No. Me and Japanese are not going to get along particularly well. Japanese people, sure, I get along with them fine. But the language confuses me.
Exit here for the Imperial War Museum. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Lewisham.
Okay, brakes are releasing. A couple of seconds until we're let out. Let's go.
Please stand clear of the doors.
There we are, we're green. That signal was green for all of about 3 seconds. And we're at 25 zone. Indeed, Amish. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
The next station is Waterloo. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Like that.
Change here for the Jubilee, Northern and Waterloo and City lines and National Rail services.
We're 30 zone. And now we're 20 zone. Because of that.
This is Waterloo. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for the
Salt Inspector actually passed the test. Awesome. Well, I didn't. I got something like 48%. So. Fail.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Love how the please stand clear of the doors is slightly out of sync sometimes. It's pretty funny. Did we just spad? No, we didn't. We got through there fine. Going to 20 zone at the moment. Getting through these corners. Next one is in Baker. Up to the 25. Embankment's a pretty cool looking station if you ask me. Okay, rolling through till we get that in the window. Touch more.
This is embankment. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for the Circle, District and Northern lines. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Lewisham. Please stand clear of the doors.
You can already see the green. And off we go. So just a reminder, there are a bunch of links in the description below, including all the mods that I'm using. majority of the mods are sound based.
Trafalgar Square, National Gallery, and National Portrait Gallery.
All the things that you can hear at the moment, pretty much everything, apart from maybe the clicking sounds of the traction brake control unit, are mods. First thing I learned was to call the teacher son.
This is Charing Cross. Change here for the Northern Line and National Rail Services. Exit here for Trafalgar Square, National Gallery, and National Portrait Gallery. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wealdstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
That's a rather long-winded message, that one. We're up to 20 zone. And we're 20 for these big curves. Sensei-san. Yes.
The next station is Piccadilly Circus. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for the Piccadilly line.
I know Train Sim itself, the Dovetail Games one, does have, I think, the Japanese trains, but this as far as I know, there's no add-ons for Train Sim World 2 for the bullet train, which is a pity because it'll be a quite iconic train. We're on to Europe and the States at the moment. I like this end of the station, it's pretty fun.
This is Piccadilly Circus. Please mind the gap between the
I wonder what the
train
speed
and
limit is here.
Change here for the Piccadilly line. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wealdstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
That's another 20 zone. There's a 20. End of the turn. And I'll probably get an acceleration in a little bit. There it is. Up to 30. Apparently in Japan, trains are driven by two people. One person's operating the controls and another person points and says what the speed limits are.
The next station is Oxford Circus. Change here for Central and Victoria line. This is Oxford Circus. Change here for Central and Victoria line. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wealdstone. Please stand clear of the doors. We
certainly don't stop at those stations for very long, do we? In, open doors, close doors, go. Okay, we'll pass those 2 turns, heading up to 30 miles an hour. Always funny when the Japanese students fail Japanese language. They are literally the opposite of whatever a weeaboo is. Hello, Oscarilla. Hope you're well. There's our point.
This is Regent's Park. Exit here for local
We've got back up to being on time again,
London Zoo.
within the second.
To Harrow and Wheelstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
We departed 1 second late. But we're catching up, so it should be okay. I don't know where Brixton is. Certainly not on this line. We're at 30. I think Baker Street's in the 30 zone. Baker Street, I think, is the one that used to be called Grand Central. You'll see it on the things. No? Okay. Might be there, but not. Baker Street's just Baker Street. Okay.
This is Baker Street. Change here for the Circle, Hammersmith and City, Jubilee and Metropolitan lines. Exit here for Madam Tussauds. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wheelstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
Green, and we got out right on time. Halfway through that minute. In fact, we're about 1, maybe 2 seconds early. Looking good so far.
The next station is Marylebone. Change here for National Rail Services.
Marylebone. Good old Wimbledon. We need to be on the train ahead of us to get to Wimbledon. This one's stopping at Queen's Park again.
This is Marylebone. Change here for National Rail Services. Line train to Harrow and Wheelstone.
We're actually not going to Harrow and Wheelstone, but anyway.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Could be that. Yeah, it's looking at Japanese and going, I don't know anything about this, so I'm just going to block it to be safe until one of our wonderful mods like Toilet Inspector comes along.
The next station is Edgware Road.
So yeah, Anish, have a good one. There we go.
This is Edgware Road. This is a
Edgware
Bakerloo
Road.
train to Harrow and Wheelstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
Paddington's next. And we're in, I think, a 30 zone. Yep, 30. Just before we hit Paddington, there's a couple of crossover points, and we have to slow down to 20. There's 20. There's the sign. There's the rough tracks. So what does everybody think about YouTube not having dislike buttons anymore? I think it's silly, because you can't tell what's basically, you know, videos that were disliked heavily for, usually disliked for a reason. If you got like 900 dislikes to 15 likes, there's a reason for that.
And National Rail Services. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wheelstone. Please stand clear of the doors.
So yeah, having a dislike ratio was almost a tool, you know. It told you information. The consensus is that this video is bad for some reason. Of course, it was pretty blunt information. It just told you good or bad. Lots of good, lots of bad means controversial. Lots of bad and hardly any good means probably just bad for various reasons. But yeah, having a dislike button on the channel was actually a useful feature, which YouTube has gone and taken away. 30, no, 35.
It's Warwick Avenue. Exit here for Little Venice. This is Warwick Avenue.
See you for that. Have a good one.
This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wheelstone.
You're able to dislike the video, but nobody can see that you did. Not even yourself.
Please stand clear of the doors.
So you can plug in the dislike, but no one else will see it. That's pretty much it. YouTube fixing problems that don't exist. If it ain't broke, try and fix it anyway. Okay, up to 30. Maida Vale. Maida Vale, Kilburn Park, 15 zone, and then we park the train and call it a night.
The next station is Maida Vale.
I love how much speed these trains lose in the turn. They're so underpowered, it's ridiculous. It's like, do you want me to turn? Well, I'm just going to lose 5 miles an hour here.
This is Maida Vale. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wheelstone.
I think we're pretty much on the stop line, a little bit behind it.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Two stations to go. So as we approach the stations, I hope you enjoyed the ride with the London Underground with the mods. Lots of extra sounds and a couple of extra adverts and stuff. This makes the world come alive a little bit more. As always, full descriptions just below there.
The next station is Kilburn Park.
Always nice to remember what life was like on public transport. I'm sure it's something that'll be in my future at some point. Yeah, those vax mandate protesters. They annoy me.
This is Kilburn Park. This is a Bakerloo
It's like
line train to
protesting
Harrow and Wheelstone.
against the lockdowns even though they're finished. It's like, why? What's the point?
Please stand clear of the doors.
We're essentially back to status quo. We should be protesting about the borders being closed to, Western Australia and South Australia. And I can drive my car to Adelaide without being stopped at the border and asked to isolate for 14 days. I'll be happy. Still a 30 zone, we're going uphill, so we won't be able to get all the way up to 30, but we're approaching a 15 zone anyway. Nice sunny day has arrived. You may remember that we started this stream up in that little building there. On that track right there, in fact.
Park. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for London Overground.
And we're pretty much on time. Within a few seconds.
This is Queen's Park. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Change here for London Overground. This is a Bakerloo line train to Harrow and Wealdstone.
This is actually terminating here. All out, all change, train terminates. Just going to walk the length of the train, make sure everyone's out. It appears that everyone has vacated this train. Got a few people waiting for the next one. Let's take a squeeze at the last carriage. There it is. We're good to go. Terminates here. And the next one after that terminates here as well. So everyone on this platform's going to be waiting a while until they get another train. Of course, that platform over there is there for a reason. I have to be short to live in London on these trains. And we're clear to go forwards. Once the train resets itself properly. Yeah, it's going to lock me out again. Let's drop... Come on, train. Let me go. Hides the stains. Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it? We got so far. The train's not letting me go. Why? I'm just going to turn it off and on again. There we go. That's an easy way to get rid of it. So that's off. And then that's off. I'm at full power. There we go. Ah, we stopped on the dead zone. Okay. Still at full power, struggling along at 8 miles an hour. The back of the train is shunting the front of the train forward. There we go. Finally through the dead spot. Gain maximum of, I think it's 10 mile an hour inside the shed. Bit of a dingy looking cloudy day out there, but this is England after all. And there we go. Scenario is complete. We'll shut down the train. Take those cutouts off. Take the key. And that one. And this is heading back to Elephant Castle when it eventually moves again. I'll take the destination light out. Gauge lights are off. Those lights are still in. Okay. Yeah, the weird, ugly fabrics on public transport certainly do hide the stains. Basically, that is London Eye or something like that. Oh, we've got another train that's just pulled in into the siding next to us. Since we're not at a platform, it's probably best not to jump out here. So I'll go ahead and walk through the train. And once we're in the cab at the front, not this cab, this is the middle one. Yeah, lock yourself in. Two more carriages to go. And once we're all the way through the train, we will end the stream. We might even let it drive us back. Another driver in the back of the train, in the direction we're headed, should be there in a few seconds to drive this train up into Queen's Park Platform 2, going the other direction. We'll actually catch our own train back to Queen's Park and get out. Here we go. You left the light out? Okay. Turn that on, you know. Don't want it on? Okay. Thanks for the ride. I'll catch you. I'm off. Bye.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
And that is Queen's Park. As we watch our former ride go off and head back down the tunnels. Bye-bye. How far can we go? That far. Can't walk out into the street, apparently. Anyhow, that was a fun ride in the London Underground. I have been Musical Aviator. And as we make our way back up to here, I think we'll leave it there. Till next time, I have been Musical Aviator. See ya. Bye for now.